Randall here again, guys, coming at you from Randall Productions. And in this video, we take a look at my top 10 guitar effects for worship music today. Worship music today without a guitar is like McDonald's without the Big Mac. It's like Starbucks without the milk. And any guitar player's arsenal that doesn't include some form of effects is just the same. And while there are hundreds of variants of different options, we're going to count down my top 10. We're not going to be specific in terms of pedals or variants. We're going to talk about them in general terms. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 10 is the compressor. For most players, this is an always on type pedal. They click it on when they get on the stage and it stays on throughout the entire set. Now, if you're not familiar with what it does, in its simplest terms, it evens out your tone. It makes your loudest notes quieter and it makes your quieter notes slightly louder, so your tone, your volume is a bit more steady. What most worship players use it for is a side effect of that, which is sustain. With a good compressor pedal, your notes sustain out a bit longer. They hold out, a bit like this. Number 9 is the phaser. Now, this is an effect common from the 80s, a bit less used in the 90s, and today only really used to add a little bit of texture. For me, I love this effect when I am just droning on a single note or climbing up through a scale or repeating something over and over and over again. It just adds a bit of something extra on top of it, makes it a little bit less boring. Now you can get all crazy with it. But most of the time that's not going to work for you. But on a nice slow setting, it's really effective. Number 8, the chorus effect. Another effect very popular in the 80s. These days, not so commonly used at all. In fact, I think you'll find most players don't have a chorus pedal on their board. So why have I put it above a compressor and above the phaser? I think it's an invaluable tool, especially for clean guitar playing. You do have to be careful with it, just like the phaser. If you overdo it, it's going to give your guitar a completely different sound, a completely different tone. And now for the next number on our list. Number 7 is the wah pedal, the wah-wah effect. Now, I challenge you to find anybody in your church using a wah pedal in a traditional sense. In fact, using it in a situation like this to spice up a solo, especially in my church environment, isn't going to work. Where it comes in extremely useful is in the slow use of it, when you just rock it back and forth ever so slightly, or leave it half open or half closed, however way you want to look at it. It acts like a filter and it gives you a really unique sound. Number 6, distortion. Even in older worship style songs, there's still distortion going on. Especially in modern worship songs, there's still distortion. Now, I'm not talking about thrash, death, metal type, really heavy, grungy type stuff. But you would be surprised how many drive pedals are going on, how much distortion is being used in lead parts from a lead guitar player, in an instrumental section, and even to carry the rhythm of something like One Way from Hillsong or Everlasting God from Lincoln Brewster. Now, I know you can get this sort of effect without any actual effect pedal using big amplifiers, but again, in the worship genre, we're so broad. We're not strictly rock guitar players. We're not strictly blues guitar players. We're not strictly jazz. We're not pulled back all the time. We're not right out in front all the time. So most worship guitar players don't have great big stacked Marshall amplifiers that can go to 11. You know, most of us play with clean amps and we put pedals in front of them. This is where distortion pedals come in, because sometimes we want to be crystal clean, maybe with a clean chorus on top of it. But sometimes we just want to be dirty, grungy, and we want to be filthy. Well, we want our guitar tones to be filthy, at least, that is. Number 5 on my list, a personal favorite for me, tremolo. Tremolo is that cutting in and out, that bop, 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 bop. For me, the tremolo is one of the most underused effects in worship today. But you've got to be careful with it. You have to use it properly. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can hear with the tremolo that it waves in and out. That is in time with something. If you set it up without ever taking consideration of how fast your song is, what the tempo of your song is, just turn a setting on randomly, it's going to sound awful if it's not in time with the song itself. So my suggestion is either you get a tremolo and set it on a ridiculously fast speed so that it fits in with the music no matter really what speed it is. But if you want to use something slower, you have to get something that lets you tap it in, or you have to get something that lets you preset it and set the time divisions exactly. Coming in at number 4 on my list is volume. Now this isn't strictly speaking an effect again, but when used effectively, it is one of the most invaluable tools in a guitar player's arsenal. I'm talking about the volume pedal on the floor, which allows us to do things like volume swells. Number 3 on the list of top 10 worship guitar effects is overdrive. Now, how does this differ from distortion? Okay, if you're still in that camp of not knowing the difference, distortion is taking a signal and absolutely messing it up, basically. Overdrive is taking that same signal but boosting it to 11. Okay, we're pushing the circuits beyond what they can handle so that the signal starts to break up. Distortion is, like I just said, it's taking that same signal, running it through something and just crunching it to pieces. Overdrive is just pushing us a little bit. Now in this same category really is boost pedals. Now boost pedals do a very similar thing. Most overdrive pedals are still going to add some sort of grit. They're not going to completely crush the signal, but they're going to add some sort of drive to the signal, as well as just boosting you up. A boost pedal specifically is designed not to touch your signal, just to boost it up. Now, a lot of worship players are going to have multiple overdrive pedals on their board. I myself have 3, and they are usually layered from lightest to darkest, or lightest to dirtiest, as in our stage 1 overdrive, the first overdrive pedal, is very light. It's going to just put a little bit, usually it's only adding volume. The second pedal is going to add a little bit of grit. It's probably what you might use for, say, the rhythm section in a chorus, whereas the first overdrive might be your rhythm section in a verse. And then the third overdrive, now this is what you would turn on maybe for a solo. Now you might not even have an overdrive in this position, it might be a boost pedal. Something to just take you from here, just to here, just to get you just above the mix so your solo is heard above the mix. Oh, we're getting close now. Number 2 on my list, reverb. Reverb has become one of the most important effects in modern worship. Now in the past we were only ever using things like spring reverbs built into the amps. But with digital reverbs these days, we have such options as cavernous reverbs, big spring reverbs, plate, room, hall, church, massive sounding reverbs, very short reverb. The options are endless. Again, a word of caution when using reverb when you're playing though, use it sparingly, use it in the right times. Between songs, maybe when you are tasked with creating some ambience, creating some atmosphere, a nice reverb here, even a big reverb here is really going to suit. But in the middle of a bridge, you know, A reverb with a 5-second tail on it, it's just gonna make everything muddy. If you're playing a lot, if you are strumming, you know, you're really strumming away, you're gonna get lost. Your guitar playing is gonna get completely lost in a big wash. Well, here we are all the way here at number 1, which in my list is delay. For me, delay is the most important effect in a worship guitar player's arsenal. Again, like the tremolo and like the reverb, you need to be careful of just how much you use it and when you use it, but used effectively, delay is the best tool you'll ever use. Now there are so many different types of delays. I mean, we could spend this entire video, we could redo it all about the top 10 guitar delay types. But whether you're using a digital delay, an analog delay, a tape delay, whether you've got a stomp box type delay like this, a great big Strymon timeline, whatever you've got, learn how to use it effectively. If your band plays to a click track or to a metronome, something like that, learn ahead of time what those tempos are so you can pre-program them. Well, thanks guys, you made it all the way down to number 1, delay. Yeah, by far and away my favorite effect for the electric guitar.